The receptionist's voice is patient, like she's talking to a child. Bathhouse 3, room 7. Down the main corridor, turn right at the fountain, count 3 doors on your left. I repeat it back to her, committing it to memory. Bathhouse 3, room 7. Right at the fountain, 3 doors left. Thank you, I say, gripping my cane tighter. My name is Asher Vale. I'm 26 years old, an Omega, and I've been blind for exactly 6 weeks, 42 days of darkness. 42 days of learning to navigate a world that suddenly stopped making visual sense. The Silver Spring Resort is supposed to help. They have a vision therapy program, mineral baths that supposedly aid healing, specialists who work with people like me. The charity foundation paid for 1 week. 1 week to see if any of this makes a difference. I tap my cane against the marble floor, listening to the echo. The resort is massive, built into the mountainside, all natural stone and hot springs. I can hear water running somewhere in the distance, smell mineral-rich steam, feel warm air currents from heating vents. My fingers trail along the wall as I walk. Smooth stone, cool to the touch. I count my steps, listening for the fountain the receptionist mentioned. There. The sound of water, musical and clear. I turn right. 1 door, 2 doors, 3 doors. I stop, reach for the handle. It turns easily. The room beyond smells like eucalyptus and steam. Perfect. Inside, I close the door behind me. The space feels large, open. My footsteps echo differently than I expected. Bigger than a standard therapy room, maybe? I find a bench along the wall, set down my bag. My hands shake slightly as I undress. I hate this part. Hate being vulnerable in unfamiliar spaces. Hate not knowing if I'm alone or if someone's watching. But the room is silent except for water. Somewhere ahead, I hear it bubbling, steaming. I fold my clothes carefully, leave them on the bench. My cane goes on top, within easy reach. Then I move forward, hands outstretched, until I find the edge of the bath. It's hot, almost too hot, but the heat feels good. I ease myself in, sinking down until water laps at my shoulders. The bath is huge, much larger than I expected. I can barely touch the sides when I stretch my arms out. Maybe therapy baths are just bigger here, I tell myself. Maybe this is normal. I lean back, close my eyes, not that it makes a difference, and try to relax. Then I hear voices, male voices, multiple. My heart stops. The door opens with a soft click. Steam billows in, carrying new scents with it. Finally, one voice says, deep, commanding, with an edge that suggests authority comes naturally to him. I've been looking forward to this all day. Agreed, another voice adds. This one is gentler, warmer, but tired. 3 surgeries back to back. I'm exhausted. You're always exhausted, a third voice says. Rougher than the other 2. More edge, like gravel wrapped in silk. You need to delegate more. I freeze in the water, every muscle locking up. 3 men, 3 alphas, judging by the power in their voices, the weight of their presence, even though I can't see them. And I'm naked in what is apparently their private bath. Oh God, no. I should say something, should announce myself immediately, should apologize and scramble out before this gets any worse. But panic has frozen my vocal cords. I can't make a sound. I hear fabric rustling. They're undressing, getting ready to enter the bath I'm already in. This is a nightmare. This can't be happening. My hands grip the edge of the stone bath, preparing to haul myself out, to grab my things and run. But before I can move, before I can speak, I hear something else. Different voices, not the 3 alphas. These voices are coming from somewhere to my left, through a grate or vent maybe, muffled like they're in an adjacent room. The East Wing Lab, one voice says. Low, conspiratorial. The prototype is there. Security documentation confirms it. Timing? Another voice asks. Tonight, midnight, security changes shifts. We'll have a 5-minute window. And if someone sees us? Silence. Then, eliminate them. We can't afford witnesses. Not with this much at stake. My blood goes cold. What about the research team? The second voice asks. Collateral damage, the first voice says flatly. If they're in the building during extraction, they're acceptable losses. My heart is pounding so loud I'm certain everyone can hear it. What exactly are they planning? What research are they after? And why does it involve killing people? Then I hear it. Gunfire. Sharp, sudden, terrifyingly close. The sound echoes through the room, amplified by stone and water. Someone screams. The sound cuts off mid-note, ending in a gurgling choke that makes my stomach turn. Oh God. They just killed someone. They actually just killed someone. Do you hear that? One of the alphas says sharply. The commanding voice. From the east wing? Gunshots, another confirms. The warmer voice, now hard as steel. Multiple. Suppressors, but not silent. The third alpha, the one with the rough voice, moves fast. I hear splashing, rapid footsteps. Call security. Lock down the facility. Now. More gunfire. Closer this time, glass shattering somewhere nearby. I'm already moving, trying desperately to get out of the bath, to find my clothes, to escape before strong hands catch me. I hadn't even heard him approach. Who the hell are you? The rough-voiced alpha demands. His grip on my arm is firm, but not painful. How did you get in here? I'm sorry, I stammer, my voice breaking. I got lost. I thought this was Bathhouse 3. I'm blind. I didn't mean to trespass. I'll just go. You're not going anywhere, the commanding voice says. Another hand on my other arm now. 2 alphas holding me. You heard them. The men planning in the adjacent room. You're a witness. I didn't hear anything. I lie, desperately, trying to pull away. I was just bathing. I don't know what you're talking about. The ventilation grate, the warm-voiced alpha says. His tone has gentled slightly, but there's still steel underneath. It's a design flaw we've been meaning to fix. Sound carries from the East Wing offices into this bathhouse. You heard them planning something. Heard them mention the lab. Heard the gunshots. Please, my voice breaks completely now. Tears are threatening. I'm just here for therapy. Vision therapy. I don't want any trouble. I just want to go home. Too late for that, the rough-voiced alpha says, but his grip has gentled. His thumb brushes my arm, almost soothing. They know someone's in these baths. They heard us enter. If they're willing to execute witnesses, you're a target now. More gunfire erupts, much closer. I flinch violently, and the alphas move, surrounding me, shielding me with their bodies. We need to move, the commanding voice says. Secure location. Now. Someone wraps a robe around me. Thick, soft, absurdly oversized. Hands guide me forward, supporting me when I stumble. My cane, I say frantically, reaching back. My clothes, my phone. We'll get everything later, the gentle-voiced alpha says. His hand is on my back, steadying me. Right now, we need to get you somewhere safe. Can you walk? Yes, but then walk. Trust us. We'll explain everything once you're secure. I don't have a choice. I let them guide me, pull me through corridors I can't navigate, around obstacles I can't see. Water drips from my hair, my skin. My feet are bare on cold stone, then plush carpet, then smooth marble. Every surface change disorients me further. This way, one of them says. Private elevator, keycard access only. I hear a beep. Elevator doors sliding open. We pile inside, all 4 of us. The space feels small, intimate. Their scents surround me completely now, undiluted by steam or distance. Black tea and cedar, sharp and sophisticated. Mint and rain, clean and cool. Leather and smoke, dark and intense. All 3 distinctly alpha. All 3 making my omega instincts sing with recognition even as my rational mind screams at the impossibility. The elevator rises. My stomach drops. Or maybe that's just panic. What's happening? I demand, finding my voice again. Who are you people? Where are you taking me? Penthouse level, the commanding voice answers. Our private residence. It's the most secure location in the facility. But who? Later he interrupts, but not unkindly. First we secure you, then we talk. The elevator doors open onto different air. Warmer. Scented with expensive wood and leather and something that makes every nerve ending I have light up with want. This is wrong. I shouldn't be feeling this. Not now. Not with strangers. But the omega part of me doesn't care about logic. It only cares about scent, about presence, about the three alphas who've somehow imprinted themselves on my consciousness in the space of minutes. Sit, the commanding voice orders. I'm guided to what feels like a couch. Leather, soft, expensive. I sink down, pulling the oversized robe tighter around me. Footsteps moving away. A door opening and closing. Muffled conversation. Then one of them returns, sits beside me. I'm Matthias, he says. The warm voice. The gentle one. My brothers are Julian and Caspian. We own Silver Spring Resort. The Corvus brothers, I breathe. I'd heard about them. 3 identical triplets who run a medical research company, pioneers in gene therapy and vision restoration. You've heard of us, Matthias says. There's something in his tone, almost pleased. Everyone's heard of you, I manage. You're famous. And you are? Asher Vale. I'm here for the vision therapy program, the charity placement. You're blind, he says. Not a question, a statement of fact. 6 weeks, I say, sudden onset. Doctors couldn't explain it. One morning I woke up and everything was just gone. I'm sorry, Matthias says quietly. That must have been terrifying. It was. It is. Footsteps approach. 2 sets. Security is sweeping the facility, the commanding voice, Julian says. We found a body in the East Wing. Research assistant. Shot twice. My stomach turns. The men you heard, the rough voice, Caspian says. They're corporate spies. After our research. What research? I ask. Vision restoration, Matthias says. We've developed a gene therapy treatment that can reverse blindness. It's still in trials, but the results are promising. My heart stops. You can cure blindness? In many cases, yes, Matthias says, especially sudden onset cases like yours. Hope blooms in my chest, painful and bright. Then Julian's phone rings. He answers, listens, his expression darkening. They're still in the building, he says, and they know someone overheard them. Security found listening devices in the ventilation system. They heard everything we said. Which means they know about me, I whisper. Yes, Caspian says bluntly. Which means you're a target. I can't stay here, I say, standing too fast. I have to go home, my brother. Your brother? Matthias asks carefully. Ellis, he's 7. Staying with our aunt while I'm here. I need to call him. My phone. It's with my clothes. In the bathhouse. We'll get it, Julian says. But you're not leaving. Not until this is resolved. You can't keep me here, I argue. We can, Caspian says. And we will. For your own protection. My hands are shaking. I hate this. Hate being powerless. Hate being trapped. Please, I say. Just let me call my brother. Let me make sure he's okay. Give me the number, Julian says. I'll have someone retrieve your phone and bring it here. I recite my aunt's number. Julian makes a call. Gives instructions. 5 minutes later, my phone is in my hands. I fumble with the accessibility features, dial. My aunt answers on the 4th ring. Asher, she says. Her voice is sharp, annoyed. About time you called. Is Ellis okay? I ask immediately. He's fine. Crying again, but fine. Why is he crying? My chest tightens. What happened? Nothing happened. She sounds irritated. He's just being dramatic. You know how he gets. Put him on the phone. He's in his room. I'm not going up there. Aunt Rebecca, please. Look, I didn't sign up for this. You asked me to watch him for a week. I said yes, but I have my own life. I can't deal with him crying every night because he misses you. He's 7 years old, I say through gritted teeth. What he needs is for you to come home and handle him yourself, she snaps. This was a mistake. This whole vision therapy thing. You should be here. I'll be home in 6 days, I say. Just please take care of him until then. 6 days, she repeats. Fine. But if he keeps this up, I'm calling social services. Let them deal with it. The line goes dead. I sit there, phone clutched in my hand, fighting the urge to scream. What's wrong? Matthias asks gently. My brother. He's crying. My aunt doesn't want to deal with him. How old is he? Julian asks. 7. I've been raising him since our parents died. 3 years now. And your aunt? Is doing me a favor, I say bitterly. Or so she keeps reminding me. She doesn't actually want him there. Through the bond, wait, what bond? I don't have a bond with these alphas. I just met them. But I feel it anyway. Concern, anger on my behalf, determination. We can send people to check on him, Julian says. Make sure he's safe. You don't have to do that, I say quickly. I don't even know you. You're in danger because you got caught in our problem, Matthias says. The least we can do is help with yours. I should argue, should refuse, should maintain some kind of independence. But I'm so tired and so scared, and they're offering help I desperately need. Okay, I whisper. Thank you. Caspian makes a call. I hear him giving instructions. Send a team to this address, welfare check on a 7-year-old, report back immediately. An hour later, his phone rings. He listens, his expression darkens. Bring him here, he says. Now. I don't care what the aunt says. Get the child and bring him to Silver Spring. He ends the call. Looks at me. Your brother is locked in a closet, he says flatly. Has been for hours. Our team is extracting him now. My world tilts sideways. What? The team heard him crying through the door. Your aunt refused to let him out, said he was being punished for making noise. Rage floods through me. Pure, incandescent rage. I'm going to kill her, I say. Get in line, Caspian says darkly. 2 hours later, there's a knock on the door. Caspian opens it. I hear it from across the room, the soft click of the lock disengaging, the quiet creak of hinges. Then I hear small footsteps, hesitant, scared, and a voice I'd know anywhere. Asher? Ellis. I'm on my feet before I consciously decide to move, crossing the space toward his voice on pure instinct. I'm here, I say, my voice breaking. I'm here, Ellis. You're safe now. Small arms wrap around my waist with desperate strength. He's shaking. No, he's trembling so violently I can feel it through his whole body. I drop to my knees, gathering him into my arms properly, and that's when I feel it. He's ice cold. His clothes are damp. And there are marks on his arms, raised welts that make my blood run cold. What happened? I demand, pulling back slightly. Ellis, what did she do to you? He's sobbing, not the normal crying of a scared child. This is the broken, gasping kind of crying that comes from trauma. She locked me in the closet, he manages between sobs, the one under the stairs. It was dark and I couldn't get out and I called for you, but you weren't there. His voice dissolves into incoherent sobbing again. I hold him tighter, one hand cupping the back of his head, the other rubbing circles on his back the way I've done since he was a toddler. When? I ask, trying to keep my voice calm, even though rage is building in my chest like a wildfire. When did she lock you in? Yesterday morning, a new voice says. Female, professional, one of the security team members. We found him about an hour ago. He'd been in there for over 24 hours. 24 hours. My baby brother was locked in a dark closet for an entire day. The rage ignites into something murderous. I was so scared. Ellis sobs against my shoulder. I tried to be quiet like she said, but I was scared and I cried and she got mad. Shush, I murmur, even though I want to scream. You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing. Do you hear me? This wasn't your fault. She said you didn't want me anymore, he continues, the words tumbling out now. She said that's why you left, that you were tired of taking care of me, that I was too much trouble. That's a lie, I say fiercely. I pull back, framing his face with both hands even though I can't see it. Ellis, listen to me. I love you. I will always love you. Always. You're my brother, my family. Nothing will ever change that. But she said, she lied, I repeat. She lied about everything. Through my anger and fear and overwhelming relief that he's safe, I become aware of the other presences in the room. The 3 alphas. Standing nearby. Not speaking. But I can feel their emotions through the growing bond. Matthias, fury mixed with professional concern. He's a doctor. He's cataloging Ellis's injuries. Cold, calculated rage. He's already planning how to ensure my aunt never gets near Ellis again. Caspian, protective fury that matches my own. His instinct is to hunt down the threat and eliminate it. The little one needs medical attention, Matthias says quietly. Those welts need to be cleaned and treated, and he's dehydrated. Ellis stiffens in my arms. It's okay, I tell him quickly. This is Matthias. He's a doctor. He's going to help you feel better. A pause. Then Ellis's small voice. Will it hurt? I'll be as gentle as possible, Matthias promises. His voice has gone soft in a way I haven't heard before. Soft, the way adults speak to frightened children. I just need to check you over, make sure you're okay. Is that all right? Another pause. Then, okay. I stand, keeping one hand on Ellis's shoulder. He's still gripping my shirt with both fists. Are you hungry? Matthias asks. When did you last eat? Ellis's stomach answers with an audible growl. She gave me breakfast yesterday, he whispers, before she got mad. Nothing after. Rage floods through me again. 24 hours in a closet with no food or water. Let's fix that, Matthias says. How about we get you checked out first, then food? Do you like pancakes? Ellis's grip on my shirt loosens slightly. Pancakes? With chocolate chips if you want, Matthias says. I feel Ellis look up at me. Can I? Yes, I say. It's okay. These people are helping us. They're safe. Promise? His voice is so small. I promise, I say. Ellis lets Matthias lead him away. I hear them moving to another room, Matthias speaking in that same gentle tone, explaining what he's doing before he does it. He's good with children, Julian observes quietly. Always has been. Your aunt, Caspian says, and his voice has gone flat. Dangerous. She's been reported to Child Protective Services. They're opening an investigation. Good, I say. My hands are shaking. I clasp them together. She'll never get near him again, Julian says. We'll make certain of that. How? I ask. You barely know us. Why are you helping like this? Because, Caspian says, and I feel him move closer. You're ours, both of you. We protect what's ours. That word again? Ours. I should question it, should demand explanations, should maintain some kind of independence. But I'm so tired, and Ellis is safe, and these three alphas are offering protection I desperately need. Thank you, I whisper. Just thank you. Matthias returns after 20 minutes. He's okay, he reports. Bruised, dehydrated, malnourished, but nothing broken, nothing permanent. He'll heal. Is he eating? I ask. Pancakes with chocolate chips, Matthias confirms, and orange juice. He drank an entire glass in 30 seconds. Despite everything, I smile slightly. He loves orange juice. We noticed, Matthias says, and there's warmth in his voice. Can I see him? Of course. But, Asher, Matthias pauses. He's been through trauma, real trauma. This isn't something that heals overnight. I know. We can help, Matthias says. I know child psychologists, trauma specialists, people who can give him the support he needs. Why are you doing this? I ask again. Why are you helping so much? Matthias is quiet for a long moment. Then, because when you stepped into that bath, we felt something we've been waiting our entire lives to feel, all three of us, at the same time, the bond. I freeze. That's not possible, I whisper. His hand finds my face, cups my cheek with careful gentleness. Your scent, he says softly. Honey and autumn leaves. We'd never smelled it before, but we knew it. Knew you. Like our souls recognized something our conscious minds hadn't caught up to yet. Mate bonds don't work that way, I protest weakly. They do when it's fated, he says. When it's meant to be. I don't know what to say, don't know how to process this. So I just stand there, his hand on my face, trying to understand how my life changed so completely in a single day. You don't have to decide anything right now, Matthias says gently. Just know that you're safe here, both of you, for as long as you need. Hands on my shoulders, Julian's scent, black tea and cedar. He's safe, Julian says. We won't let anyone hurt him again. You don't even know us, I whisper. Why are you helping? Because, he says quietly, the moment you stepped into that bath, we felt it. All three of us. The bond. I freeze. That's impossible. Is it? His hand moves to my face, tilts my chin up. Your scent. Honey and autumn leaves. We'd never smelled it before, but we knew it immediately. Knew you. I don't understand. Fated mates, he says simply. You're ours, Asher, and we protect what's ours. The next 3 days blur together. Ellis settles in surprisingly quickly. The triplets give him his own room, connected to mine through a bathroom. They bring him toys, books, anything he asks for. Matthias reads to him at night. Stories about dragons and knights and adventures. Ellis calls him Matt within the first day. Julian teaches him card games, letting Ellis win more often than not. He becomes Jules. Caspian is more reserved, but I catch him showing Ellis the security feeds, explaining how the cameras work. Ellis starts calling him Cass. And me? I'm trying to process everything. The corporate spies are still at large. Security is on high alert. We're confined to the penthouse suite for our own safety, which means I'm trapped with 3 alphas who claim I'm their fated mate. On the 3rd night, I can't sleep. I find my way to what feels like a balcony, guided by the sound of running water and the scent of mineral-rich air. The night air is cool. I can hear hot springs bubbling somewhere below. Footsteps behind me. Couldn't sleep? Matthias's voice. Too much to think about, I admit. He sits beside me. I feel the warmth radiating from him. Can I ask you something? He says. Sure. How did you lose your sight? I'm quiet for a long moment. Then, I was attacked. His entire body goes rigid. What? 6 weeks ago, I say. I met an alpha for dinner. He said he wanted to court me, said he'd been watching me at work, thought I was beautiful. I should have known better. Should have been more careful. But I was lonely. Matthias says nothing, just waits. He drugged my drink, I continue. When I woke up the next morning, my vision was blurry. By that afternoon, it was gone completely. He left a note. Said I should have accepted his bond when he offered it properly, that this was my punishment for rejecting him. Matthias is silent for a long, dangerous moment. Then, name. What? Give me his name. Why? Because I'm going to destroy him. You don't have to. His name, Asher. Marcus Strand, I whisper. He works in pharmaceutical sales. Which company? Matthias's voice has gone very cold. I don't know. He never said. We'll find out, Matthias says. And when we do, he'll pay for what he did to you. Julian and Caspian join us on the balcony. You told him, Caspian says. Not a question. How did you know? I ask. We can feel it, Julian says. Through the bond. It's getting stronger every day. I should be disturbed by that. Should feel violated that they can sense my emotions. But instead, it feels comforting, like I'm not alone in this. Marcus Strand, Matthias tells his brothers. Pharmaceutical sales. He's the one who blinded Asher. Silence. Then Julian speaks, his voice like ice. I know that name. He works for Helix Corporation. The company trying to steal our research, Caspian says. It's not a coincidence, Julian says. They tested their vision damage compound on Asher, used him as a trial run before attempting to steal our treatment. My stomach turns. I was just an experiment? You were a victim, Matthias says fiercely, and they're going to answer for it. The next morning, everything changes. Security catches one of the Helix operatives trying to breach the research lab. The interrogation reveals everything. Helix Corporation developed a drug that causes targeted blindness. They plan to market it alongside an antidote they control. Create the problem, sell the cure. But the Corvus brothers' treatment threatens their entire business model. If vision can be restored through gene therapy, Helix's antidote becomes worthless. So they tried to steal the research, and when that failed, they tried to destroy it. Marcus Strand was their inside man. He identified potential test subjects, Omegas, who were vulnerable, isolated, unlikely to be believed if they reported the attack. He blinded 11 people, including me. You're not the only victim, Julian tells me. There are 10 others. All of them were attacked the same way. All of them lost their sight. Can you help them? I ask. With your treatment? We're already making arrangements, Matthias says. Every victim will receive treatment, free of charge. I don't know what to say. We should talk about your treatment too, Matthias says carefully. I've reviewed your case. Your blindness was chemically induced. That makes you an ideal candidate for gene therapy. You think you can restore my sight, I breathe. I'm almost certain of it, Matthias says. But there are risks. The treatment is still experimental. There's a small chance it won't work, or that there could be complications. I'll do it, I say immediately. Whatever the risks. I want to see again. We should run more tests first, Julian says. Make sure. I'll do it, I repeat. I want to see my brother's face. I want to see the world again. I want to see you. The last words slip out before I can stop them. Silence. Then Caspian speaks, his voice rough. We want that too. Want you to see us. See yourself through our eyes. When can we start? I ask. Tomorrow, Matthias says. If you're sure. I'm sure. That night, Ellis asks the question I've been avoiding. Asher, he says while I'm tucking him into bed. Are Matt and Jules and Cass your mates? I go still. Why would you ask that? Because you smell different when they're around, he says matter-of-factly. Happier, like honey, instead of just sad. He's 7. He shouldn't be able to sense these things. But Omega children are sensitive to emotions, to bonds. I don't know, I answer honestly. Maybe. I hope so, Ellis says sleepily. They're nice. And they make you smile. I like when you smile. Do I smile more now? Yeah, he says. Lots more. I kiss his forehead. Go to sleep. We'll talk about it later. But as I leave his room, I wonder if he's right. The testing takes 2 days. Blood work, genetic screening, scans I can't see but trust are happening. Matthias explains everything in terms I barely understand. Cellular markers, gene sequences, treatment protocols. Julian handles the logistics. Scheduling, equipment, medical team coordination. Caspian handles security, making sure Helix doesn't know where we are or what we're doing. And through it all, I feel them. Through the growing bond, their determination, their hope, their absolute certainty that this will work. On the 3rd day, Matthias calls me into his office. I have the results, he says, and there's something in his voice. Relief? Excitement? What did you find? I ask. You're an ideal candidate, he says. Your genetic markers are perfect. The damage isn't permanent. We can reverse it. My hands start shaking. Are you sure? I'm sure, he says. We can start the treatment tomorrow if you want. Tomorrow, I breathe. Yes, tomorrow. That night, I can't sleep. I end up back on the balcony, listening to the hot springs, trying to calm my racing heart. All 3 of them find me there. Nervous? Julian asks. Terrified, I admit. Matthias sits beside me, takes my hand. The treatment will take about 4 hours. We'll inject modified genes and stem cells directly into your optic nerves. It's not painful, but it will feel strange. And then? I ask. Then we wait, he says. 24 to 48 hours for the treatment to integrate. You'll need to keep your eyes bandaged during that time. What if it doesn't work? I whisper. Then we try something else, Caspian says firmly. We don't give up. Ever. What if I see you and the bond breaks? The fear I've been carrying for days finally surfaces. What if seeing you changes everything? Asher. Julian's voice is steady. The bond doesn't depend on sight. We already love you. Seeing won't change that. You love me? I breathe. Yes, all 3 of them say in unison. But you barely know me. We know enough, Matthias says. Know you're brave, strong, that you've been raising your brother alone while dealing with trauma most people couldn't survive, that you love Ellis with everything you have, that you're terrified but facing this treatment anyway. We know you, Caspian adds. And we love you. Tears burn my eyes. I love you too, I whisper. All 3 of you. I don't know how it happened so fast, but I do. Then trust that, Julian says. Trust us. Trust this. The treatment room smells like antiseptic and possibility. I lie back on the medical bed. Matthias holds my left hand. Julian holds my right. Caspian stands at the head of the bed, one hand on my shoulder. We're here, Matthias says. The whole time. We're not going anywhere. The first injection burns. Not painfully, but intensely, like ice and fire mixing. I squeeze their hands. They squeeze back. You're doing great, Julian says. Just breathe. More injections, more burning, more pressure behind my eyes. Ellis is in the waiting room with Dr. Cross. I can feel his worry even from here. Halfway through, I start crying. Not from pain, from overwhelming emotion. I might see again. I might actually see. What if I don't like what I see? I whisper. Then we'll help you adjust, Caspian says. Whatever you need. We're here. The treatment continues. 3 hours. 4. Finally, Matthias steps back. That's it, he says. All done. Now we wait. He wraps my eyes in soft bandages, layer after layer of gauze, blocking out light I can't see anyway. 24 hours, he reminds me. Keep these on, don't touch them, and try not to stress. Impossible. The wait is torture. Pure, agonizing torture. Every minute feels like an hour. Every hour feels like a day. Time stretches and warps until I lose all sense of how long I've been sitting here, bandaged and blind and terrified. Ellis stays close. I hear him moving around the room, feel him climb onto the couch beside me every few minutes. Asher, he says, want to hear about the book Matt read me last night? Sure, I manage. He launches into an elaborate retelling of some fantasy adventure. Dragons and wizards and brave knights. His voice is animated, excited. He's trying so hard to distract me. I love him for it. The triplets take turns sitting with me. Matthias reads medical journals aloud, explaining complex procedures in his gentle voice. Not about vision restoration, about heart surgery, bone regeneration, cancer treatments, anything except the treatment currently integrating into my eyes. Julian plays chess with me, verbal chess, since I can't see the board. He describes each move, waits patiently while I think through positions I can only visualize in my head. You're better at this than you think, he says after I checkmate him. Most people can't hold an entire board in their memory. I've had practice visualizing things I can't see, I say. His hand finds mine, squeezes. Soon, you won't have to. Caspian tells me stories. Not fairy tales, real stories. About growing up as triplets. About learning to differentiate themselves. About the first time they realized they could finish each other's sentences. People think it's creepy, he says, the synchronization, but it's just how we are. It's not creepy, I say. It's beautiful. He's quiet for a moment. Then, thank you. But through the bond, I feel their anxiety matching mine. Every time one of them tries to act calm, I sense the worry underneath. The fear that this won't work, that I'll stay blind, that we'll have gotten so close to fixing this, only to fail. Evening comes. Ellis has dinner with Dr. Cross in the other room. I can hear him laughing, hear her patient responses to his endless questions. The triplets stay with me. Talk to us, Matthias says. Tell us what you're thinking. I'm thinking that in less than 12 hours I'll know if this worked, I say, and I'm terrified. Of it not working? Julian asks. Of it working, I admit. Of seeing you and having everything change. Nothing will change, Caspian says firmly. But what if I see you and don't like what I see? The fear spills out. What if you're not what I imagined? What if the bond breaks when I can actually look at you? Asher, Matthias's hand cups my face. The bond is already complete. We've been building it for weeks. Sight won't break what's already solid. How do you know? Because I can feel you through it, he says. Every emotion, every thought. And nothing I feel from you says temporary. Everything says permanent. Julian shifts closer. We've waited our entire lives to find our mate. Do you really think we'd let something as simple as sight change that? When you put it that way, I murmur. Caspian's hand finds my shoulder. We're yours, Asher. Sight or no sight. Today, tomorrow, 50 years from now. That doesn't change. I want to believe them. Choose to believe them. Night falls. I lie in bed between Matthias and Julian. Caspian is in a chair nearby, refusing to leave even when his brothers suggest he get some sleep. Can't sleep if you're not sleeping, he says, so stop pretending and just breathe. I'm trying. Try harder. Despite everything, I smile. Hours pass. I don't sleep. Can't sleep. Just lie there feeling the bond pulse between us, stronger than it's ever been. They don't sleep either. I can tell from the way they shift positions occasionally, the way their breathing never quite settles into sleep rhythm. We're all waiting, all hoping, all terrified. Around 3 in the morning, Matthias speaks. Can I tell you something? Always. When you walked into that bath, his voice is quiet, intimate. When we first caught your scent, all three of us knew immediately. It was like every instinct we had just ignited. Mine. That's all I could think. Mine. Same, Julian adds. I've never felt anything that certain in my life. Caspian shifts in his chair. Scared me, honestly. That level of certainty. That fast. Did it scare you? I ask. Finding your mate? Terrified us, Matthias admits. Because what if you didn't feel it too? What if it was one-sided? But it wasn't, I say. No, he agrees. It wasn't. We fall silent again. But it's a different silence now. Comfortable. Connected. Dawn comes slowly, then quickly. Then Dr. Cross knocks on the door. I can't protect you like this, I whisper. Can't even see danger coming. You don't have to, Matthias says. That's why we're here. But you shouldn't have to protect me. We want to, Julian says. Mates protect each other. That's how this works. Even when one of them is blind and helpless. Especially then, Caspian corrects. And you're not helpless. You survived 6 weeks blind, got your brother out of a dangerous situation, trusted us when you had every reason not to. That's strength, not helplessness. Morning comes eventually. Dr. Cross arrives at dawn. Ready? She asks. No, I say honestly, but let's do it anyway. She unwraps the bandages slowly, layer after layer. I'm still in darkness. My heart sinks. It didn't work. Then she says, open your eyes slowly. The light will be bright. I open them, and I see light. Actual, real light. Not memory, not imagination, light. It's blurry. Everything is fuzzy, indistinct, but it's there. Oh my God, I breathe. Can you see? Matthias asks urgently. I can see light, I say. My voice breaks. I can actually see light. Ellis launches himself at me. Kai, you can see again. Not clearly yet, I say. But yes, I can see. Over the next hours, my vision sharpens. Shapes emerge, colors separate, details clarify. And then I see him, Matthias. Dark hair, gentle eyes, exactly as kind as his voice suggested. He's beautiful. Hi, he says softly. Hi, I whisper. Then Julian steps into view. Similar features to Matthias, but sharper, more intense. Then Caspian. Harder edges, protective stance. All three of them, identical but different. All three watching me like I'm precious. You're perfect, I say. All of you. Ellis tugs my hand. What about me? I turn to my brother, see his face clearly for the first time in 6 weeks. Dark hair like mine, bright eyes, the small scar on his chin from when he fell years ago. You're taller, I say, pulling him into a hug, and your face is thinner, but you're still my Ellis. He grins. I missed you seeing me. I'm seeing now, I promise, and I'm not stopping. That night, I see something else. Golden threads, shimmering, delicate, stretching from my chest to each of the triplets. The mate bond, visible, real. You can see it? Matthias asks. I can. I breathe. It's beautiful. The next few days are a whirlwind of adjustment and discovery. Seeing again changes everything. Not just in the obvious ways, being able to navigate independently, to read, to see Ellis's face, but in subtle ways I hadn't anticipated. I notice things, small things. The way Matthias's eyes crinkle at the corners when he smiles at Ellis. The way Julian drums his fingers on his thigh when he's thinking through a problem. The way Caspian's jaw tightens when he's monitoring security feeds and something concerns him. I see their tells, their habits, the tiny differences that make them individuals instead of identical copies. And I see how they are with Ellis. Matthias reads to him every night without fail, sprawled on Ellis's bed, book propped on his knees, doing different voices for each character. Ellis giggles at the dragon voice, deep and rumbling and absolutely ridiculous. "I love how you do the dragon," Ellis says one night. Matthias grins. "Your brother thinks it's terrible." "Asher's wrong," Ellis declares loyally. "It's the best dragon voice ever." From the doorway where I'm watching, I smile. I never said it was terrible. I said it was enthusiastic. "It's terrible," Matthias admits cheerfully. "But Ellis likes it, so I'm committing." Julian teaches Ellis math through games. Building blocks that demonstrate geometry. Card games that require mental arithmetic. Puzzles that make learning feel like playing. "If I have 3 apples," Julian says, "and I give Matthias 2, how many do I have left?" 1, Ellis answers quickly. "Good. Now, if Caspian steals that apple..." "Hey," Caspian protests from across the room. "Why am I the thief?" "Because you're the one who ate my leftovers last night," Julian says mildly. That was Matthias. Lies and slander. Ellis giggles. "You're all the same. How does Asher even tell you apart?" "We're not the same," Caspian says, but he's smiling. "We just look the same." Caspian shows Ellis the security systems. Teaches him about cameras and monitors and how to spot when something's wrong. "See this camera?" Caspian points to a screen. "Notice how the angle's slightly off?" Ellis leans closer. "Yeah. That means someone adjusted it manually, either maintenance or an intruder. We check the logs to find out which." "Cool," Ellis breathes. "You're like a detective." "Exactly like that," Caspian confirms. Later, Ellis asks me, "Did you know they're really good at being dads?" I smile, running my fingers through his hair. "Yeah, I noticed." "Are they going to be my dads forever?" he asks quietly. "Or is this just until we go home?" My chest tightens. "Do you want them to be your dads forever?" He nods emphatically. "They're nice, and they make you happy, and they never yell, and they read me stories and teach me stuff and don't get mad when I ask questions." I pull him into a hug. "Then yes, forever." "Really?" "Really, I promise." On day 5, after my sight is restored, Matthias calls me into his office. "I want to show you something," he says. He pulls up files on his computer, medical records, research data, before and after scans. "These are the other victims," he explains. "The Omegas Marcus Strand blinded." My stomach tightens. "How many?" 11 total, including you. Ages ranging from 19 to 34. All of them attacked the same way. All of them isolated, vulnerable targets. He clicks through images, scan after scan showing damaged optic nerves, deteriorated retinal tissue. "We've treated 8 of them so far," Matthias continues. 7 have regained full vision. 1 has partial restoration, about 60%, but still improving. And the others? 2 are scheduled for treatment next week. The last one is pregnant. We're waiting until after delivery to avoid any risk to the baby. "They're all getting better," I breathe. "Because of you," Matthias says. "If you hadn't walked into that bath, if you hadn't overheard those corporate spies, if you hadn't trusted us, we wouldn't have connected the dots. Wouldn't have realized Helix was testing their drug on real people. I didn't do anything special." I protest. "You survived," he says firmly. "You protected your brother. You let us help you. That's everything." Later that evening, Julian finds me on the balcony overlooking the hot springs. "Can't sleep?" he asks. "Too much on my mind." He sits beside me. "Want to talk about it?" I'm quiet for a long moment, watching steam rise from the mineral pools below. Then, what happens when this is over? When Marcus is in prison and Helix is dissolved and Ellis and I are safe? Do we just leave? "Is that what you want?" Julian asks carefully. "No," I admit, "but I don't know if staying is fair to you." "Fair to us?" He sounds genuinely puzzled. "You've upended your entire lives for us," I say. 2 strangers who literally stumbled into your bath. You've given us shelter, protection, medical treatment. You've taken on my brother like he's your own. At some point, doesn't that become too much?" Julian is quiet. Then, "Can I tell you something?" "Of course." "For years, my brothers and I have been searching," he says. Every Omega we met, we wondered, could this be them, our mate, the person who makes us whole? And we never found them. Started to think maybe we wouldn't, that maybe fated mates were a myth, that we'd have to settle for arranged matches or convenience pairings or just being alone. I didn't realize. Then you walked into our bath, he continues, terrified and vulnerable and lost, and all three of us knew, instantly, completely. You're ours. I turned to face him. I'm nobody special. I'm just, you're everything, he interrupts. Don't you understand that? You're not a burden we're tolerating. You're the mate we've been waiting our entire lives to find. Through the bond, his sincerity is overwhelming. I don't know what to say, I whisper. Say you'll stay, he says quietly. Say you'll give us a real chance. I'm scared, I admit. So are we, he says, terrified. What if we mess this up? What if we're not good enough? What if you wake up one day and realize you made a mistake? I won't. How do you know? Because I can feel you, I say, through the bond. All three of you, your fear and hope and love, and none of it feels like a mistake. He reaches for my hand, threads his fingers through mine. I'll stay, I say, if you'll have me, both of us. Always, he breathes. The investigation into Helix Corporation moves quickly. With the captured operative's testimony and the evidence Caspian's team gathered, prosecutors build an airtight case. Marcus Strand is arrested at his apartment. Caspian makes sure I'm watching the security footage when it happens. I thought you might want to see this, he says. On the screen, I watch agents surround the building, watch them breach the door, watch Marcus, the alpha who blinded me, who destroyed my life, get handcuffed and dragged out. I expect to feel satisfaction, triumph, something. Instead, I just feel tired. It's over, I say quietly. The trial still has to happen, Caspian reminds me. You'll need to testify. I know. We'll be there with you, he says, every minute. You won't face him alone. I turn to look at him. Why? Why do you care so much? Because you're ours, he says simply. And no one hurts what's ours. Before the trial, I have nightmares. Not about the attack, about the testimony. In my dreams, I'm on the witness stand and Marcus is there, smiling, and when I try to speak, no sound comes out. Or I speak but everyone laughs. Or the judge doesn't believe me. I wake up gasping, heart pounding, and every time, one of the triplets is there. Sometimes it's Matthias, pulling me against his chest and murmuring reassurances until my breathing steadies. Sometimes it's Julian, talking through the testimony process step by step, making it concrete instead of terrifying. Sometimes it's Caspian, reminding me that Marcus can't hurt me anymore, that he's locked up, that I'm safe. I appreciate all of them. But I appreciate Caspian's approach most. He doesn't try to comfort me with soft words. He just gives me facts, concrete reality to anchor myself to. Ellis notices the nightmares too. Are you scared? He asks one morning. A little, I admit. Because of the bad man? The one who hurt you? Yeah. He thinks about this seriously. Then, Matt says brave isn't not being scared. It's being scared and doing it anyway. Matt's right, I say. Are you going to be brave? I'm gonna try. Ellis hugs me fiercely. I'll be brave too. We can be brave together. The trial starts on a cold Monday morning. The courtroom is smaller than I expected, more intimate, which somehow makes it worse. Marcus sits at the defense table. I haven't seen him since the attack, since that dinner where he drugged my drink. He looks ordinary, unremarkable, like any other alpha you'd pass on the street. It's horrifying how normal he looks. The prosecutor, a sharp beta woman named Christina Lee, walks me through my testimony carefully. State your name for the record. Asher Vale. Mr. Vale, did you know the defendant prior to November 15th of last year? Yes. We worked in the same building. He approached me in the lobby one day, asked me to dinner. And did you accept? Yes, I thought. I pause, gathering myself. I thought he was genuinely interested in courting me. What happened at dinner? He ordered wine. I drank one glass. I don't remember anything after that until I woke up the next morning. And when you woke up? My vision was blurry. By that afternoon, It was gone completely. The defense attorney tries to rattle me during cross-examination. Isn't it true that you were drinking that night? 1 glass of wine, I confirm. Could you have had more, if you don't remember the evening? No, because toxicology reports from my emergency room visit showed drugs in my system that I didn't consent to taking. The attorney pivots. You claim the defendant blinded you, but couldn't your vision loss have been caused by something else? A pre-existing condition, perhaps? I had perfect vision before that dinner, I say firmly. 2020. No family history of vision problems, no medical conditions. The blindness was directly caused by a chemical agent found in my bloodstream, a compound developed by Helix Corporation. The defense tries several more approaches. All of them fail. When I step down from the witness stand, I'm shaking, but I made it through. The triplets are waiting in the hallway, all 3 of them. You did perfectly, Matthias says. He's going to prison, Caspian adds with satisfaction. And he's never hurting anyone again, Julian finishes. 2 weeks later, the verdict comes in. Guilty on all counts. Aggravated assault, drugging, 11 counts of causing permanent bodily harm with intent. Sentence: life in prison without possibility of parole. Helix Corporation's executives receive similar sentences for conspiracy, attempted murder of the Corvus brothers' research assistant, and human experimentation. The company is dissolved, its assets liquidated. The money goes to victim compensation and medical research. Justice. Real, actual justice. That night, we celebrate quietly, just the 5 of us. Ellis wants pizza and ice cream, so that's what we have. No fancy restaurant, no formal dinner, just family. At one point, Ellis looks around the table and says, "We're really a family now, aren't we?" "Yes," Matthias says gently, "we really are." "Forever?" Ellis presses. "Forever," all 3 triplets confirm. Ellis grins. "Good, because I was worried you might get tired of us." "Never," Caspian says firmly. "Not possible." Later, after Ellis is asleep, the 4 of us sit on the balcony overlooking the hot springs. "We should talk," Julian says, "about making this official." "Official how?" I ask. "Mating bonds," Matthias says. "Permanent claiming. Legal recognition." "You want to mark me?" I say. "State it as fact, not question." "We want to bond with you completely," he confirms. "But only if you want it too." I'm quiet for a long moment. Then, "Yes, I want it, all of it." The claiming ceremony happens on a quiet Sunday morning. No formal event, no announcement, no witnesses, except Ellis. Just us. We return to the hot springs, the private bath where this all began. The water is warm, steam rising in gentle curls. The space smells like minerals and eucalyptus. "Are you sure?" Matthias asks one last time. "I'm sure," I say. "More sure than I've been of anything." "This is permanent," Julian says. "Irreversible." "I know. I want this. Want you. All 3 of you." Caspian moves behind me. His hand finds my neck, thumb brushing over the spot where his mark will go. "You'll be ours," he says. "Completely. Permanently. We'll feel everything you feel. Know everything you know." "Good," I say. "I want that. Want to belong to you. Want you to belong to me." Matthias and Julian move to flank me. Their hands find their own claiming spots. "One more chance to back out," Matthias says softly. But he's smiling. Knows I won't. "Mark me," I say. "All of you, please." They move in synchronization. Perfect coordination. Their teeth sink in simultaneously. Left and right and center. 3 points of claiming. 3 bonds completing. The world explodes in golden light. Power floods through me. Theirs into mine. Mine into theirs. The bonds that were forming suddenly solidify, become permanent, become unbreakable. I can feel them. All 3 of them. Every emotion, every thought, every bit of love they have for me. It's overwhelming and perfect and exactly what I needed. When they pull back, I'm crying. Not from pain, from joy, from the overwhelming rightness of this. "Ours," they say together. Their voices blend, harmonize. Yours, I agree. Always yours. Through the bond, their satisfaction and love and absolute certainty wash over me. We're complete. Finally, truly complete. Ellis appears in the doorway, drawn by the golden light that's still fading. Did it work? He asks. Yes, I say, pulling him into the bath with us, clothes and all. We're bonded now, permanently. Ellis looks between me and the triplets. So they're really my dads now? For real? For real, Matthias confirms. Ellis throws his arms around all of us. Best family ever, he declares. And looking at my three mates, feeling the bonds pulsing with life and love, watching my brother beam with happiness, I have to agree. Months pass. Ellis starts school, a good school where teachers are kind and children don't bully. He makes friends quickly, comes home every day with stories about recess and art class and the science project he's working on. He's thriving. Actually thriving. One night, his teacher calls. Mr. Vale? This is Miss Rodriguez. I wanted to talk to you about Ellis. My heart immediately jumps to worst-case scenarios. What's wrong? Is he being bullied? Is someone hurting him? Nothing's wrong, she says quickly. Actually, quite the opposite. I wanted to tell you that Ellis is doing remarkably well. His reading comprehension is above grade level. His math skills are excellent, and his emotional adjustment, considering what I understand he's been through, is exceptional. Relief floods through me. Thank you. He's had a lot of support. He talks about his family constantly, she continues. His dad's especially. He clearly feels very safe and loved. After I hang up, I find the triplets in the living room. Ellis's teacher called. I say, Is everything all right? Matthias asks immediately. Better than all right, I say. She says he's thriving, reading above grade level, math skills excellent, emotionally well-adjusted. That's our boy, Caspian says with satisfaction. Our boy. The possessive warmth in those words makes my heart swell. Later, when Ellis is asleep, Matthias brings up something we've been dancing around for weeks. We should talk about making the legal aspects official, he says. Adoption papers for Ellis, marriage certificates for us. Marriage? I breathe. If you want that, Julian says carefully. We know human traditions matter to some people. Do they matter to you? I ask. We're already bonded, Caspian says. The mark is permanent. But if legal recognition would make you feel more secure, it's not about security, I interrupt. It's about, I trail off, trying to find words. It's about declaring this, publicly, about Ellis having legal protection, about making sure no one can ever question that we're a family. Then we do it, Matthias says simply. All of it, Ellis's adoption, marriage, all of it, all three confirm. The adoption proceedings are surprisingly straightforward. My aunt doesn't contest, doesn't even show up to the hearing. The judge reviews the evidence, the testimony from Ellis's therapist, the reports from his teachers, the home study showing Ellis thriving with us. In the interest of the child's welfare, she declares, adoption is granted. Ellis Vale is now legally the son of Matthias Corvus, Julian Corvus, and Caspian Corvus. Ellis, sitting between the triplets, grins so wide his face might split. I have 3 dads now, he announces to anyone who will listen. Like, officially. The marriage happens on the same day. We keep it simple, just us and Ellis and a civil officiant. No fancy ceremony, no big celebration. Just the 5 of us in the resort's chapel, saying vows that make promises we've already kept. I, Asher Vale, take you Matthias, Julian, and Caspian Corvus to be my lawfully wedded mates. And they, in turn, promise the same. To have and to hold, to love and to cherish, in sickness and in health, for as long as we both shall live. When the officiant pronounces us married, Ellis cheers. Best wedding ever, he declares. That night, after Ellis is finally asleep, the 4 of us sit on our usual balcony spot. Our spot. Because this place has become ours over the months. The place where we have our deepest conversations. Where we make our biggest decisions. Happy? Julian asks. Beyond happy, I say. Content. Settled. like everything finally makes sense. Through the bond, they echo my contentment. 6 months later, I wake up in our bed, because separate rooms became one shared space somewhere along the way. All three of them are still asleep. I take a moment to just look at them. Their faces relaxed, the mate marks on their necks matching mine, the golden threads connecting us, permanent and bright. Through the windows, I see the sunrise, colors painting the sky. Ellis will be up soon, chattering about school, about his friends, about the science project he's working on. Normal kid things, safe kid things. I never thought I'd have this. A family that doesn't hurt, mates who love me, a brother who's healing, all because I walked into the wrong bath. Best accident of my life, I whisper. Matthias stirs, opens his eyes. What was? Walking into the wrong bath, I say. Finding you. He pulls me closer. Best accident of ours, too. Jules, Caspian murmurs. Matt, stop being sappy and go back to sleep. Matthias laughs quietly. Can't. Asher's awake. Then get up and make breakfast, Caspian says. Ellis will be up soon. I smile. Get up myself. Join them in the kitchen where Ellis is already awake, talking about pancakes and whether dragons could be real. This is my life now. This family, this love, this home. Sometimes wrong turns lead exactly where you need to be. Sometimes getting lost means finding everything. Sometimes the worst mistake becomes the best thing that ever happened. I got in the wrong bath, made an error that should have been simple. Instead, it brought me here, to three mates who see me, to a brother who's safe, to a future I'm not afraid of. Not bad for someone who couldn't count doors properly. The end. If Asher's journey from darkness to light, from fear to love, from lost to found, touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe. Sometimes you step into the wrong room and find exactly what you needed. Sometimes strangers become family. Sometimes the thing you think is ruining your life is actually saving it. Thanks for being here.